grab a drink, grab a project, and let's have a little crochet catch up. Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craftably Ever After and welcome to another video. Now friends, I have got loads of things to show you, to chat about, so we had just better get straight into it. I don't want this video to be hours and hours long. My videos are usually pretty long as it is, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Now, the first thing we're going to chat about, as most weeks, is the Amigurumi World Tour. And as you know, we are working from the Whimsical Stitches book by Lauren Espy. Now, the past week has been a surprisingly slow week in terms of project reveals. Last weekend, we had the international book and the US book that received their books sort of at the same time. We had the pig, that was the project chosen on the international book. We had the eggs, that was the project chosen for the US book. And then for the last week, nothing else happened. Like, I know the books have been sent off. I think it might have been only towards the end of last week. So I don't actually know how far they are from reaching their destinations, if they're there yet, if they're on their way, if it's only coming next week. I think it's probably going to be only received sort of towards the beginning or middle of next week. But you would think that I would have taken this opportunity to catch up on the projects that I have not done. I'm really trying to do all of the projects from the book. I am a little bit behind, but you know what? We've got time, friends. Let's not rush and stress ourselves out. As I say, I should have taken the chance to catch up on a week where it was really slow in terms of project reveals, but I just do not work like that. I like the pressure, I like the stress of having a very, very tight deadline. When there's a lot of time, I just cannot function. So, in this whole week where it was so calm, I finished up one project, of which the majority of the thing was done last week already, and it is my onion. So all I basically had to do for my onion was this top part and this bottom part. I had the biggest part of it done last weekend already, so finishing it up took me all of 1 minute, and this is what I did for this week. So while we are waiting for the next projects to arrive, I could have done the succulent planter, which I still have to do. I could have done the eggs, but that was a fairly recent project. But no, I just decided to keep myself busy with all sorts of other random projects instead of catching up. Like I say, I like working on a tight deadline. No point in rushing myself if there's loads of time. I don't know if any one of you are like that. Like, I'm like a master procrastinator. I am extremely good with deadlines, really, really good with deadlines. But when there's tons of time, it's like my brain freezes and I don't know what to do with all of that time. Anyway, you will see this reflected in all of the things I'm going to show you that's been going on in this week. But anyway, there we have it. At least I've got one thing done. So, one more thing I can tick off for the Amigurumi World Tour. Now, whenever the projects reach the next person, I will let you guys know. I know we are all waiting for it. It's been so much fun. Like, we're all sort of wondering what's next, what's left. It's been a fun journey. We are nearly halfway. Believe it or not, only halfway. It feels like we've been going on for ages. The energy is still high. I love it. Every single day I still get photos. Please, you can send me photos from projects that we've done early on. Have a look at our journal that's on my blog. I will link it down below where you can click to head over to my blog to see all the projects that's been submitted so far. You are still welcome to join in if you have access to this book. So that is the update on the Amigurumi World Tour. Next thing I want to share with you is a little happy mail that I received from my friend Carlotta. Now, she sent this a while ago. The package got stuck for I don't know what reason in customs. It took us a lot of emails back and forth between myself, Carlotta, customs. Finally, they released it to me. And I'm going to show you the lovely, lovely yarns that Carlotta sent me. She also sent a lovely postcard. I absolutely love postcards, especially if it's, you know, from the different areas where people live. I love cards in general, postcards I've got a specific love for. So it was fun to receive a postcard from the area where Carlotta lives. She also sent a super cute sticker. And the following yarns, of which I did use the yarn on a project, and I will show you straight after. I'll show you the gorgeous yarns that I've received from her. Now the first one I want to show you is this. It's called Lion Brand Let's Get Cozy Chenille Appeal. So it's a very thin chenille yarn. It was so nice to work with. There you have it. That's a label. Now I don't know if this yarn is still available. Some of the yarns that I will show you I know has been discontinued. She mentioned this to me, but it was such a treat to work with all of these yarns. These are things that I do not have access to here in Denmark. So for me it's always fun to try the yarns that a lot of you in the US have access to. Now this one, the Chenille Appeal, it is a medium 4-weight yarn, and it is 100% polyester. So it was a fantastic yarn to work with. Obviously I've still got a ton of it left, and this is what I made. This is my Swim Time Sammy Bear pattern with the little sweater vest that I have as an additional free pattern on my blog. So Sammy Swim Time Bear is a paid for pattern on my Etsy and my Ravelry, but the vest is free on my blog, and I will link anything I talk about in my video. I will always link in the description box below. Now just look at how fantastic this yarn looks. Now when I opened up the parcel and I saw the chenille yarn, I knew I was going to make a polar bear with it. And with it, you know, being sort of the weather's cooling down, we're heading into the festive season, obviously a polar bear was the thing I was going to have to make. I am currently slightly obsessed with this Sammy the Swim Time Bear pattern. He's one of my favorite bear patterns. I love how he works up. It's really quick and easy to make. I know a ton of you have bought this pattern, and I'm so grateful for that. I've seen loads of Swim Time Sammys, and quite a few of them where you made the little vest for him. Now he's wearing a vest from some of the other yarns that I received in my Happy Mail. So this chenille, the 4-weight, I used a 3mm crochet hook on it. Worked really well. Surprisingly, I was worried again because it's slightly fluffier than the Toucan Fine, which I've also been using lately, slightly fluffier than that, but I didn't struggle working with it. I didn't lose the stitches. It was just, you know, and the feeling of a chenille yarn in this bear, and I like it for the fact that it's not massive. I don't have a lot of storage for a lot of massive toys, which is why I don't often work with like the hobby, like the Honey Bunny and the Baby Snuggle, the Parfait Chunky, all of those types of yarns. Although I have a small little stash, I don't work with them often. They just take too much space. But these 4-weight chenilles I am really loving. They work up beautifully. They're not massive toys, and I will show it to you against another Swim Time Sammy that I've made with a different yarn that I purchased from Hobby, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. But this yarn was fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, this beautiful green and pink yarn was also part of the parcel, and it was this. Now this is the yarn that I think is discontinued. So it's called Yarn Bee Cotton et Lin Rouge, and it is a 4-weight yarn. What is it? What is the makeup of it? It's 80% cotton, 20% linen. Now the reason Carlotta actually sent me some of this yarn to try, she was a pattern tester for my mouse pattern, Blossom the Mouse, and she used some of these yarns to make Blossom, and I absolutely loved the the very like muted neutral tone of her mouse. I absolutely loved it. And I commented on the yarn, and she was just lovely enough to offer to send me some. So I got to try some of this fantastic yarn. So this is what it looks like. As I say, I don't think you get this anymore, but it is a wonderful, wonderful yarn to work amigurumi up with. So I used the pink. This was the green cotton Etlin Fern. It's the name of this one. I mean, it is just gorgeous, and I will show you. She sent me a few more colors of these. So these will feature quite heavily in some of my upcoming videos. Let me just show you the rest of the colors. So this is Yarn Bee Fresh Haven in Mustard. Beautiful color. It's got a very, very nice sheen to it. All of these are 4-weight or worsted weight yarns. Then this one, Cotton Etlin Apple Cider. Lovely color. Then, what is this one? Cotton Etlin Chintz. And then there was another one. Oh, this is a slightly lighter pink. Also a different name. Yarn Bee Prima Suprema in Salmon. So this is the salmon. This is the Cotton Etlin Rouge. So there you can see a slightly difference in the pink. And then also yarn that I've heard of often, but never had the chance to try. Skein Tones from Lion brand. Also a medium 400% acrylic. And this one is called Cocoa. Beautiful color for a bear. This will definitely be a bear. Absolutely love the color. So if you can see, let me hold up these. And just look at this color palette. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely loved working with it. Worked up so nicely. So I don't know which ones of these are still available in the US. I don't know which ones are discontinued, but if you can find any of these Yarn Bee ones, they are fantastic. And then of course she also popped in one of my favorite yarns, and I'm building up a little collection of these that people send to me, and it is the Red Heart Super Saver Retro Stripes. One of my favorite colors of yarn. As I say, I've received a few skeins in different Happy Mails. I'm sort of hoarding them up at the moment to do something special with. So keep an eye out. Sometime or another in the future, I will have a very nice project on the go with all of my Red Heart Retro Stripes. So let me just pop all of this in. So this was my fantastic Happy Mail from Carlotta. Loved working with it, loved trying yarns that I don't have access to. It's such a treat for me, and I so appreciate it. So just one last look. So if you ever get a chance to work with that 4-weight chenille, you know, especially if you're like me and you don't usually work with the thicker blanket yarn type of thickness yarns, the 6s, the 7s, this 4-weight chenille is fantastic. Now, on the note of new yarns, I had to purchase some stuffing from Hobby. I just buy 300-gram bags, so I do work through them fairly quickly. I buy like 3 or 4 bags at a time. I go through stuffing like no one's business, so I had to order some more yarn. Not yarn. I wish I could order some more yarn, but I just don't have the space. But every time I have to order stuffing, I try and order 1 or 2 skeins of a yarn that I've not tried before, but that's usually on sale. So Hobby runs constant sales, so you'll at some point or another find most of their yarns on some other sale. So anytime that I buy the stuffing, I try to pop in some yarns that I would like to try and see if they work well for amigurumi. So, sorry, I've actually got, and I'll talk about this in a moment, because this is my big Crochet Society box that also arrived. but I hid my hobby yarns in there as well. So let me just put this down again. Like I said, I'm completely surrounded by things that I wanted to show you. So what I decided to try, and it was mainly because of the glitter and the sparkle, and we are heading into the festive season, and I love glitters and sparkles and reds and whites and greens for this time of the year. So I decided to try this Panettone. Now, I've never tried this yarn before. It is classified as a 4-weight, but it is a very, very thin 4-weight. No, it's a 3-weight. Sorry, I thought it was a 4-weight. It's classified as a 3-weight, so a DK, which makes sense now. I used a 2.5mm hook on it. But just look at this beautiful color. There's such a lot of sparkle in it. Now, I will give you my opinion on whether it's good for amigurumi just now. But I love this color. So I bought 4 skeins, but only 2 colors, so 2 of each color. So I had 2 of these. I used one complete one, and this is color number, you can never see it, color number 11 of the Panettone, which is like these browns. It's like brown and beige and like a copper, like the sparkly bits, it's very coppery, copper color. And then I got this Panettone in a beige and gold, so the gold parts in it. Now I always, when I try yarns, I always buy colors that I can make a bear in. No surprises at all there. So if I'm only going to try 1 or 2, I need to know that it can make a bear, because I've got tons of other yarn that I can make accessories with, or if I want to make an outfit, like you'll see with my next bear, another Swim Time Sammy bear, because I had to work up a bear pattern. And while I was in the groove of making Sammy, I thought, well, I'm just going to continue with this yarn. I had the pattern out. So this is the bear I made, another Swim Time Sammy with this yarn. Now you cannot actually see it sparkle, maybe a little bit on the camera. It's got really nice stitch definition, so you can see your stitches really nicely. It's not a difficult yarn to work with, but it's rough. It feels a bit like a nail file, like you can file something with this. It is not a soft toy. It is and it is because of this, the sparkly bits. Now what is it made up of? I don't know. Let me have a look. 87% cotton, 7% polyamide, and 6% metallic fiber. So the metallic fiber in it is what causes this very, and you can hear it, like it's a very rough texture. So it's not a I wouldn't say it's a comforting feeling. Maybe it's good for like a different sensory experience, but it's not. I mean, if you compare it to this one, which is like nice, squishy, soft, this is a plushie. This is something that a little child I can see can easily sleep with. It's just nice and comforting. With this one, he's very festive, but he's not the hug type. You know, he's one of those types of bears that he likes his personal space. He's fantastic to look at. But that is it. He prefers his social distancing because he's not nice and soft, which I thought is why he needed a nice plushy little vest. So this is my toucan fine that I really like using. Made him a little vest in the toucan fine, whipped up really quickly. I thought he needed something plush, just to give him a little bit of a softer look, but I really like how it turned out. So if you just want to make like a decoration of some sort, actually I think if you hold this double or you make baskets or something with it, it's a little thin to make baskets with. Like I said, unless you hold it double or 3 strands together, it will be fantastic. I don't actually know what you would use this yarn for, because it's not the type of yarn I can imagine that would be nice to have against your skin. So for a wearable, no, it's very scratchy, and it's because of the metallic. But to have a decoration stand somewhere, and he looks very festive, so I do get very much festive vibes from him. I love how he looks, but he's just not a soft toy. So I don't know, I will definitely work up this beige and gold color, probably into another bear with some other festive outfit, because I liked working with it. It wasn't difficult at all to work with. It didn't split at all. It was really, really nice to work with. And I used on this a 2.5 millimeter hook. So you can probably use a 3 or a 3.5 with it very easily. I used 2.5, and I used on my bear one entire ball. I had like a teeny tiny bit left, but one entire ball of this, using a 2.5 millimeter hook, made my Sammy the swim time bear. Just to give you an indication of how much you need for a specific project. Obviously, I crochet fairly tightly, so it will depend on your gauge, how tightly or loosely you crochet. But it took me one 50 gram, I think they're 50 gram balls. It took me one 50 gram ball of this to make one Sammy the swim time bear. Absolutely loved working with it. Love the effect. I think I would recommend it for amigurumi, but not something soft and cuddly. Something more decorative. Definitely that is what they should be used with. So that is my little yarn haul, my little yarn review of the Panettone. I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely say, if you see it on sale at Hobby, when you have to maybe purchase something else, you want to have something a little festive, something a little sparkly, yeah, I do recommend these. I really enjoyed working with them. All right, next, this is what I wanted to show, the Crochet Society box. Now I know quite a few of you have received this box, and I think I mentioned it before, my new pattern that got released like a couple of days ago, this cutie. My Gretel the Halloween cat. Absolutely love this pattern. So many of you saw that I released the pattern. Many of you have purchased this pattern. It's actually a 3-in-1 pattern pack, so you get this adorable Halloween cat. Then I also included a modification to make this super cute festive Christmas bear. Just look at her little outfit. So with a little shawl, this little Christmas hat, and it has another modification for a little Easter bunny. So a 3-in-1 pattern pack, currently only up until midnight tonight, so Denmark time. So just take into consideration that, for instance, in America, if you live in America, Denmark is about between 6 and 9 hours ahead of the US. We're like 12 hours behind New Zealand. So wherever in the world you are, just be aware of the time differences. But up until tonight, midnight, the Gretel, the Halloween cat pattern will be available at 40% discount. It's been on a discount for the last couple of days, but it ends this evening. And all my other patterns are 25% discount. So many of you have purchased my patterns the last few days. I'm so appreciative of it. I love seeing the different cats that come in. I mean, I just loved when my pattern testers sent me their photos. Absolutely loved seeing it. I'll do a little tester appreciation little post on my community tab just to show you what my pattern testers did with their, some of them did the cat, some of them did the bear. It was just lovely to see. And on that note, if you ever wanted to be a pattern tester for me, just mention it in the comments below. I will keep a list. I don't put out tester calls, so I will reach out to folks directly, ask if they want to test. But if you ever want to test for me, let me know and I will keep you on my list, because I do rotate who I ask to pattern test for me. So I will never put out like an open call, but if you want to test, let me know and I will keep you in mind on my rotation list for pattern tests in the future. I've had a really good run of patterns this year, and I hope to bring out a few more in the next couple of months. But all of that, now just to say that I got my Crochet Society box, and originally the reason I designed Gretel, the Halloween cat, was because of the colors that we are receiving within this box. Now, I knew from the start that I was not going to make the patterns that you get in the box. I didn't like the look of any of them. I really actually make the patterns from the Crochet Society boxes, which is really bad to say, but I love the yarn. So in it we got black, white, and then just, you know, like autumn type of colors. Oranges, we've got a few browns, then we've got some very bright colors in here. But with these ones, so as I say, I designed that cat pattern to be able to use it with the yarns from this box. So I'll definitely be seeing what else I will make. I think I definitely will recreate Gretel, the Halloween cat. Probably I'm going to recreate with some of the yarns some other little festive bear. I really like this bear pattern as well. I will see what I make. You know, I've got so much confection DK from Crochet Society at this point that I can just about make anything. I've got loads of it that I just hoard. So whenever I see there's a Crochet Society box that's got the confection DK in it, because I love that yarn, I buy the box. And this is probably the only reason that I bought the Halloween box, but I know many of you bought it as well. Let me know if you're actually going to make the patterns. That is a part of this box. So we got a little card, you can scan your QR code, it opens up all the patterns. So I did download the patterns. I like having access to it. You never know what happens in the future. If I feel in the mood to make something different from my usual type of thing, I might pull out one of those patterns. But let me know if you're planning to actually make the patterns. That's part of the Crochet Society box. Oh, all right, friends, where are we now? I've got a few more things to show you. I hope you have refilled whatever beverage you are drinking. We've got a few minutes left of chatting. I think what I wanted to show you next, or chat about next, is the Muffy Bunny Non-Cal. It's been so much fun seeing all the projects that you guys have made. I've received quite a number of Muffy bunnies with art-inspired outfits. For those of you that's new, just very quickly, I bought this Muffy bunny from a museum shop in Paris. The dress of this bunny is inspired by Van Gogh's Starry Night. So you get this cute little bunny, you get the card based on which the artwork is, or the artwork that was used as inspiration for the dress. And they've got a variety of different ones. So I thought it would be fun if just in between all of the other things that we are busy with, if we have a little non-crochet along, where we take the Muffy bunny pattern, and I will link again the Etsy pattern. So I did find the Etsy pattern. This is the Muffy bunny from Etsy. I also found a free pattern. I will link them down below. So if you want to join in and make a Muffy bunny and have a little outfit inspired by any artwork that you love or that is interesting, you are welcome to join in. The closing date for our non-gal is the end of September. I will have a little slideshow of all the projects that were submitted. Now, originally, this was just going to be for fun. It's actually still for fun. I mustn't say originally it was going to be just for fun. It was always just going to be for fun. But, you know, after my friend that visited me last week, in preparation for her coming, you know, we had cleaned up the house, did a big bit of a spring clean, and I came across a crochet kit, that I purchased last year. It is easily almost exactly a year ago that I purchased this. And so we're still talking about the Muffy bunny cowl, but I've decided to throw in a teeny tiny little giveaway as part of this crochet along. Now, I never thought that it was going to be a giveaway, but you know, you guys just embraced this non-cowl. I've got amazing projects submitted to me so far. We've still got 2 weeks left, so you're more than welcome to still join in. There's loads of time. As you can see, I haven't actually finished my own Muffy bunny yet, so I will probably wait until the day before my video comes out, and then I will be in a mad rush and finish her up. But anyway, what I want to say is there's 2 weeks left to still participate. I mentioned now that I found a kit that I bought a year ago, and it is a kit by Toft. Now, let me chat about Toft for just a teeny tiny bit. And I know I'm now all over the place. I hope you guys are still with me. I bought from Toft. Now, this is not the actual kit that I'm going to show you. This is a different kit. Are you keeping up? I saw on Jeanette from Crafty Clicks, she bought this Find Finley, which is like a seahorse pattern from Toft, and she made 2 seahorses. She made it look so easy to do, and I was just inspired, and I bought the Find Finley, or the Finley the Seahorse kit from Toft. But you guys, this is how far I got with Finley the Seahorse. I hated working on this pattern. There's way too many bobble stitches. They use 100% wool for their patterns. Now, I was extremely optimistic, and I thought I was actually going to make 3 Finleys. Yes, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. So I bought a 3-color kit. You could buy a kit for Finley the Seahorse with one of the color packs that they had. I bought the kit that had 3 different colors. So this, which is a greenish one, then you had like the 2 blues and the 2 purples. And I could not finish it. I hated it. I think I've now come to the realization that I do not like working with, because I think it's 100% wool, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? It's 100% wool. I don't like working with it, and I had such a struggle, and I stopped right here. I couldn't do it. This took me 3 separate tries. So I started it, put it down, thought maybe I was just not in the right space for it, picked it up a few days later, tried a few more rows, still didn't like it, tried it a last time, did 1 row and said, that's it, I'm not continuing, I cannot do it. But anyway, so this is my experience with Toft. Now, what I want to show you, and this is the little giveaway I am going to be having. It's going to be a random draw from anyone who submits a Muffy bunny project. And this is the kit I bought last year, and there's no way I'm going to make this kit. I realized I don't like working with the yarn. I struggle with the patterns. So I bought this kit last year. Look at it. It's a very, very beautiful little Toft box. Pulls out like a little drawer. And inside is everything as I purchased it. So there's a little, he's now coming loose. Let me just pop him. There's a little elf patch because it was a Christmas kit. This is the actual pattern. It's this little snowman. So snowman, inside this card is the pattern. They've got some little instructions. And again, I never just buy the one color. I'm always extremely optimistic, thinking I'm going to make loads of different varieties of something, which I never do. I bought the pack where you can make 3 different colors of snowmen. There you have it. So the full snowman kit is still in here. I might even now, saying this, squeeze in all of these extra Finley the seahorse skeins, little balls of yarn. Might squeeze it in this box, but there you have it. So I'm going to have a teeny tiny little giveaway. Anyone who enters the Muffy non-cowl, I'll put your names into a hat and I'll just randomly draw one. Wherever I draw, I will send this Toft kit to you. Anywhere in the world. As long as you can receive a parcel, I will send you. If you are the name that I draw randomly, I will send this kit with a few extra balls of Toft yarn to you. So there you have it, friends. I will be glad to have that out of my hair because it's haunting me. But that is my failure for the week. So just to show you, not everything that I do I love. And as you know, my big motto for this year has been only to do what I love doing. All right, last thing, and it's actually the highlight of the video, which is why it's last. And this is our Hooking Up with Books. It's a book club that I have with my very good friend Caroline. We do this every 2 months. We pick a book, we read it, we make a project inspired by the book. So our last 2 months, from 15th of, I don't know when, until today, the 15th of September, so the last 2 months, we read the book All the Light We Cannot See. So you could either read the book or you could have watched the fantastic mini-series they had on Netflix. This is what I based my character on. If you have not seen that series on Netflix, it's really, really beautifully done. It is set in World War II, so be aware that it is a wartime story. So there will be war elements, but it was beautifully done. I just enjoyed it so much. It's like a 3-part, I think, mini-series, the Netflix one. Now you can do the audio book on Audible, which is also what I've got. You can read the book, but the mini-series was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. We received loads of projects. I think I have got 10 or 11 projects that people submitted to me, their inspired crochet makes from either reading the book or watching the mini-series. So there will be a little collage at the end of my video, which is very, very soon, of all the projects that got submitted. Now, from the start, when I started the mini-series, I knew that I was going to make the main female character Murray Law. She was just a lovely, brave lady within wartime. You know, she is a blind girl. It was just such a motivating, positive, uplifting story for me. And I knew I was going to make Murray Law. Now, originally I thought I was going to use the Crochet Iconic Woman book. There's a lovely pattern in there that would have been perfect for it. I was set on making that pattern. And then I saw the project from Carlotta. And she made Werner and his sister, and she used this book, Lulu's Crochet Dolls. And I must tell you guys, if you do not have this book, I highly recommend it. It is written in UK terms, so just be aware that you will have to, in your head, do a little conversion. It's not difficult. You catch onto it very quickly. But this book has got fantastic patterns. Now, I have made this girl before, and when I saw Carlotta's project that she made from this book, I immediately, and I only got her photo like on Wednesday or Thursday of last week, so only a few days before today's deadline. And I thought, okay, Cassandra, this is very typical of you to like switch like days before, but I knew I had to make Murray Law from this book. I knew it had to be done. And this is my little Murray Law that I made from this wonderful Lulu's Crochet Doll book. Now, in the movie, I think this doll's hair is maybe a bit long, but Murray Law's got, like in the Netflix series, she's got actually a bit darker hair. She's got brown eyes. I tried to put a little brown in there. She does wear in this one scene towards the end this lovely almost a similar color blue dress. I thought it was perfect. In the pattern for this doll, I think she actually also wears a little blue dress. So I did the dress the same. I just changed the color of this little underskirt peeking out. And just look at the cute little shoes. When I saw this doll in the book, I knew this was going to be Marie-Laure. So I also took a really cute photo outside. I did try to make her a little walking stick. She does have a little walking stick in the movie. I did. It's like a little skewer that I just painted white. So she does have her little walking stick. But this was such a lovely pattern to work up. Super easy to do, and as you guys know, I'm not a doll maker. I don't often make dolls, but I am loving this book. Everything worked up so easily. Everything was just easy to follow, easy to do. They do tell you, so I've got it closed up. You can either, and they mention in the pattern, you can either put a little button or a little bow. I just put a little bow there to close it up. But I love how this doll turned out, and I love her being represented as Marie-Laure from the story. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my little doll. I did make her from Rainbow Cotton 86, which is a sport weight 100% cotton yarn that I get from Hobby. I have a mixture of Friends Cotton and Rainbow Cotton 86, sport weight number 2, and I use a 2.5mm hook on it. Now this doll does have a very thin neck, and what I usually do, because you can see my doll's neck is fairly stable, she does not really have bobble head, I roll up a piece of felt. So I cut a nice long piece of felt, roll it very, very tightly, and stick the felt right into the neck so that it goes down a teeny tiny bit into the body and a bit up into the head as well. And I do that for a lot of the doll patterns that's got thin necks. I just use a piece of rolled up felt, and it works beautifully. So I loved this doll pattern, but as I say, I cannot recommend highly enough this book. Absolutely fantastic book to work from. I love it. Alright, you guys, that is it. Now, straight after this, I'm going to have the little slideshow of everyone who submitted projects. I hope you enjoy it. Just to take note, we are starting our next and our very last book for this year, starting today, the 15th of September. It'll end within the next 2 months, 15th of November, and we are doing one of my favorite authors, Jane Austen. One of my favorite Jane Austen books, Persuasion. Actually, my first biggest love in terms of Jane Austen is Pride and Prejudice, but that might be a little heavy reading for our book club. Persuasion is a little bit easier to read. There's also a wonderful movie on Netflix. Not the most recent. I think there's a 2023 or 2024 version of Persuasion. That thing is awful. Do not watch it. There's a 1995 as well as a 2005 movie on YouTube that you can watch. My personal preference is the 1995 one. I will link that down below. But I mean, you can also read the book. You can watch whatever version of Persuasion that you want. As I say, I just highly discourage the most recent, like 2024 version. I just didn't like the adaptation of it at all. But that is personal preference. So you might love it. You will still get the gist of the story from it. I just prefer the older versions. But that is the book that we will be doing next, Persuasion from Jane Austen. I know there's quite a few Jane Austen fans out there. And also to note that this will be the very last book that we will be doing in the Hooking Up With Book series. So Caroline and I have chatted a bit, and there's just so much going on in both of our lives that we are just putting a tiny little pause on hooking up with books. So this one, we're going to end with Persuasion. We're not going to restart it for next year. Who knows, we might restart it sometime in the future again. but Persuasion will be our very last hooking up with books book that we'll be doing. So if you want to send us your projects, anything that you find inspiration from within the book, it can be a character, a color, a setting, a scene. It could be if, for instance, you use the book, the colors, make it into a blanket based on the colors of the book, or whatever. There's so many different ways that you can interpret or use the book as inspiration for a crochet project. We've loved doing hooking up with books. Some of you have been with us from the very, very start. Some of you have joined in a bit later. There's still people joining us every time we do it. It's so much fun. And we've appreciated your support so much. So also go and have a look at Caroline's video. I think also out today. And I hope you enjoy seeing the projects that will follow just after this. Alright, you guys, as always, loved hanging out with you. Please chat to me in the comments. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're planning. Let me know what is up in your lives. Whatever it is you're doing, I hope you do only what brings you joy, or as far as possible, do what brings you joy. Life is just too short. Alright, friends, that's it for this week. Until I see you in the next video, as always, stay safe and stay crafty.